So this is so important. You need to understand that you being on the tools or you being overwhelmed with admin is pulling you away from this 3x multiplier type tasks, right? You on the tools has less than a 1 times multiplier. Hey my legends, really excited about this video because we're going to be leveling up your understanding of the org chart. Now we've covered this in so many videos and I hope you've got a good understanding around all of the responsibilities you play as a business owner. But today we're really going to be diving into the impact that your time has, because not all of these are equal. And some of these tasks within these roles for you as a business owner has a massive multiplying effect on the quality of the outcome. Now let's just speak to tradesperson on site. Now if you're a business owner, tradesperson on site, we all know you run at about 55 to 65% efficient. That means you can only get 24 to 30 hours max a week because you're also answering the phone calls, organizing parts, project managing, answering phone calls from clients, answering phone calls from your suppliers, trying to market and sell yourself in your business, and that causes you to be inefficient as a business owner. Now you need to have that appreciation that you aren't efficient as a tradesperson on site, and I'm going to give each of these roles within the business a multiplier today. So we're going to start with you on the tools. Now what we've learned is the tools has less than a 1 times multiplier. So pretty much the work you put in is the amount of outcome you get out. And this is why we see it nearly impossible for you to grow your trade business if you are on site. And sole traders, you might be busy for a period of time and then you're quiet for a period of time, and that all balances out in the end and you don't grow and you never really get to the place where you're profitable. So those times where you're quiet, you lose all the profit you made when you were busy. And so we really want you to break away from that. So as soon as you hire your first tradesperson, you get a 1 to 2 times multiplier effect. Now the reason you get this is because you are able to schedule your tradesperson more efficiently as the person out on site. You're able to organize the parts for them. You're able to make sure the scheduling is nice and tight so there's less wasted time, less unbillable time. You're also they're focused on site every day, not having to answer all the phone calls, not having to run the business as well. So that's why we see sole traders go from 10 to 15,000 revenue up to 30 to 40,000 in revenue just in their first month of hiring their first tradesperson. Another 1 times multiplier effect is your admin. So answering administration type calls. Hey, can you send me that invoice? Can you resend that quote? Can you submit that documentation for me? Can you enter that work order? You know, all of these things are administration. What you put in is what you get out. Although it's important that we get this done, it has no multiplying effect on your business operation. So doing admin, all of the data entry, answering phone calls, which are admin phone calls, has no impact on your business. This is where we start to see the multipliers. So when you can sit in this operation management space, we start to see a 3x multiplier effect. Now the reason is you're able to do every quote fast, so you convert more. You're able to follow up quotes. You're able to get onto those needs of your team on site when they might be missing something. You can organize an Uber to send some materials out to them. You're able to be onto that, which would create a 3x multiplier on your time. So I want you to think about the times where you put on your first tradie and you then had all this time to catch up on admin, and then you had time to catch up on all of your ops management. And you were able to fill the schedule so easily. And I want to see in the comments below if you've experienced this. But what happens is you fill it so well that you get all of this extra work and then you get pulled back onto the tools. And so you're back doing less than a 1x multiplier. And this is why there's no point you being the person doing these 1S tasks. You need to hire your tradie to continue them being a 1 to 2x. Now, the 1 to 2x is all based on how well you can be in this space helping your tradies out to be closer to a 2x rather than a 1x. if you're out on site being a 1x and not a 3x type task, not doing this, not on top of this, these guys will be more like a 1x and you'll find yourself stagnating. And so I'm sure a lot of you guys who have grown would have experienced that too, where your tradies busy, you're busy, but you just stop growing. And that's because you've stopped doing this 3x multiplier, you're not organizing your tradie the best you could, and these are the times where you're out on site, they finish at 2:30 in the afternoon, they call you up, say, I'm finished, what do you want me to do? And you're busy on site trying to do your own jobs and you have no idea what to do, get them to do, so you ask them to go clean the van. Non-billable task, right? So this is so important. You need to understand that you being on the tools or you being overwhelmed with admin is pulling you away from this 3x multiplier type tasks, right? Just to remind you, this is quoting, this is invoicing, this is schedule resource, so your labor allocation and your material allocation. It's project management, so it's dealing with your clients, it's making sure the projects are running smoothly, efficiently, and effectively, therefore maximizing profitability. And also tradesperson apprentice development. So you actually going to site not to do the work, but be there and help upskill your tradespeople on what they're struggling to do well. And that's why you need to be sitting in this space. And when you do sit here and you do your quotes and you follow them up, then you get so busy that you're back on the tools and it's an inefficient business system. And that's why this lesson is so important. Check this out. 5 to 10x multiplier effect is your sales and marketing. Now, sales and marketing will have a 5 to 10x multiplier effect when you get to it, right? So following up quotes that you've sent is a sales task, but you usually wouldn't follow up quotes unless there's capacity in your tradespeople where they don't have enough work. So we have to create the capacity in our on-site value delivery, because otherwise, if you're overwhelmed and stressed and you can't keep up with the workload, you don't want to do any sales because you're already so busy and it's already pulling you away from living your best life. You're already working late. You're already not spending time with your family. You're already overwhelmed yourself. So there's no way in hell you want to go and get more work and increase that pressure. But if we hire and create capacity on our field staff where they're sitting around, that drives you to want to go and do more sales. So effectively, what will happen if you hire someone and create capacity that gets you fully off the tools, you will be doing all your quotes, all your admin, you'll get on top of all of that, and then finally you will be at a place where you can, you've done all your quotes and there's no more quotes to do, therefore the demand now is following up quotes and trying to convert work. And if there's no more quotes to follow up, you need to get out and get more business. So you go out and do your marketing and your sales. And so that's why this will only happen if there's capacity here and there's nothing left to do here. Do you see what I'm saying? So this 5 to 10x multiplier will only happen if you've created capacity here first and you've been able to get all of this stuff done. And that's why this usually happens when you put your first tradie on, fill their schedule, and then you'll do this for a little bit until they're fully busy and you're back on the tools, and then you're back in the same loop again, right? So what we'll do see though is that when you're breaking out of the ceiling of foundation, you put on your first tradie, then your next ceiling you're going to hit is in growth phase, where you are now so busy doing ops and admin, your tradies are busy, but you don't have any time to do sales and marketing because you're just busy in operational space. Now, to free yourself up to do more 3x tasks, we need to hire an admin to do all of those 1x tasks to allow you to do more 3x tasks, but get on top of that easily so you can do more of this and grow the business again. And so another 10x task is strategy. So all of the vision, your goal setting, your KPIs, what you need to implement, your systems, your optimization, your academy work, all of the stuff that you do is a 10x. But we only do this when we're on top of all of this. This operational space is busy. You know, we'll try and fit this in where we can, but if this is too busy, if your operational space is too busy, you stop thinking about your vision. You stop thinking about the goals that you're trying to achieve. You stop thinking about all that stuff. And that's only because you've been overwhelmed over here. So as you can see, the way to break free from all of this is to create capacity here until you need to release yourself from these responsibilities to do more 3x tasks. This 3x allows you to multiply, your tradies if you're doing it well. If you get too busy doing admin and on the tools, you won't have time to have the 2x multiplier for your tradespeople because you'll be falling behind. And so by you really dedicating your time and having awareness around the multiplying effects of all of these responsibilities you have, then this will give you a better understanding. Now, before we wrap this video up, I just want to talk around what you sacrifice when you're too busy being in the business operation. Now, this will always pull to the bottom. So if there's high demand here, you'll fall behind, first of all, we see guys stop looking after themselves. You stop exercising, stop eating well, stop sleeping properly because you're so overwhelmed, you wake up in the middle of the night, which then leads to a knock-on effect of not eating well, not exercising, and feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Then you stop thinking about your vision. You stop executing your strategy. You stop marketing because you couldn't even think about doing more work. You stop selling. You stop following up quotes. You stop doing quotes if you're really busy, and then you're just so busy on the tools until you're not, because you've fallen behind on quotes and you haven't done any quotes and there's no work in the pipeline. And that's where there's capacity here because you didn't fill it. And then you have to go back to doing quotes in a reactive way. Fuck, there's no work, let's do quotes. Let's follow up quotes. And you're trying to fill a schedule in a reactive way, which is really stressful. And so it continues to pull away from this because it will always fill your day. What we tend to see is people protect their family until you can't because you're so overwhelmed and there's so much happening. And you can control this by hiring the right people, delegating to people who have experience in the areas you're hiring for. Try not to hire trainees or new people like apprentices, new time administration people, or promote an ops manager when you need someone that actually is experienced to take that responsibility off of you, and that allows you to level up. Now, I've got a request for all of you that have watched the end of the video. Thank you for watching. This is very, very important. I really want to see in the comments, what did you take away from this video? And what's some realizations that you can share? What's some lessons you've learned in the comments to help all of our community level up their understanding of delegation, of hiring the right people, of understanding how to set schedule, and now that you've seen this multiplier effect, relating that to your reality. I'd love to see it in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.